So last night I was drinking with a friend, and he came up with the question, and we were just bullshitting, and he said, "Hey man, are you real?" I was about to quote Socrates and go, "Hey, well, I think therefore I am, so therefore I have to be real." Then I realized that that wasn't my thought. It wasn't my idea. I wasn't the guy who said, "Oh, well, I think therefore I am." I know I can logically follow the progression of what Socrates was thinking. I've read into that. I know that, but not my original thought. I honestly didn't remember the last time I'd had an original thought. To quote Ian Malcolm, I was standing on the shoulders of geniuses and taking the next step. And that disturbed me. It's part of why technology moves so fast these days, because we do stand on the shoulders of giants and geniuses and take the next step. Technology works that way. I mean, without a certain level of tech, we wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, without the battery, we wouldn't have the flashlight. Just stuff like that. And then I kept thinking about it. The night moved on, we went to sleep, and I'm staying awake. I'm lying there, and I'm thinking, I don't know. How do I know that I'm real? I mean, how much of what we do, how much of what we say is simply regurgitated, planned responses? I mean, we all have our, "Hey, how you doing?" "I'm fine. How about you?" "I'm fine." Then we just go our separate ways. I have this exact conversation with people literally 1,000 times a day. What differentiates us from, like, a computer program? We've got our scripts, we've got our things. What's a soul? And then it occurred to me, I'd had this conversation, or a very similar one, many years before, in the kitchen of a restaurant. I was talking to one of the cooks, and we were talking about the holograms on Star Trek. And we wondered, where would the line be between a holographic creation and a real person? I mean, there was this episode where Moriarty became real and stuff. Well, not real, but he was a hologram. And he wasn't able to leave the holodeck, but he could think for himself. He was a sentient hologram. I mean, what would be the difference between Data and, say, that version of Moriarty? I mean, that version of Moriarty was created in order to beat Data. So, where would the line be between that hologram and a person? Obviously, you'd have to be able to leave the holodeck. I mean, in the later years of that, it did wrestle with the issue of where is the line between that, because the tech and the hologram tech and the replicator tech, it all blurred together. I mean, if you could eat at the holoparlor, obviously they were able to replicate stuff. So, where would the line be? If you could respond and interact outside of the holodeck, I mean, you can eat the food. Obviously, transporters work. I mean, I know there's a big argument out there as to whether or not it's a gigantic death machine and stuff like that, but if the soul, in theory, wasn't even a part of the body, I mean, I've read a theory a long time ago where the soul isn't really a part of the body. The brain is more of just like a remote control system. And, like, if something's on the tip of your tongue but you just can't say it, perhaps your brain's not working correctly. It's just not clicking right. But that's neither here nor there. I eventually, in that conversation, we got onto Tron Legacy, and Olivia Wilde's character, she ended up being able to leave the computer program, but the DNA of I forgot what they're called nowadays, those characters, it looked different, because when we saw her get damaged, she broke apart like all the other computer programs. But then she left the program, and would that even be able to create stuff like that? Once again, we question, where's the line? Would her body react and bleed in the real world, or would it fragment like it had in the computer world? I mean, the humans in the computer world bled, but we don't know where the line is when you bring them back. We didn't see that. where would the line be? Once again, we came to the question, where is the line? Is it touching, feeling, smelling, tasting? We went through, we didn't know. We thought, okay, if we were able to recreate something on the cellular level, where would the line be? I mean, heck, people can go through, technically, you could procreate with a hologram program. And that's where we came to an impasse. We decided, okay, if we can procreate with it, or at least go through the we could go through the motions of procreating with it. So if we could actually procreate with it, create something that's not completely under our control. We didn't program the responses in it. It just kind of came into being, like our children in this world. If that would be able to do that, we could consider that person real. And I guess the same thing can be said for the soul. If we go back to what Ian Malcolm was saying in Jurassic Park, we're standing on the shoulders of geniuses and taking the information that's come before us and just taking the next step. Could that be considered a soul? I think that's personally a validation for the soul, possibly even an expression of free will. In the comment section, tell me if you agree, tell me if you disagree, leave notes as to why. Heck, tell me some situation where you thought through something and you got through to the next step and you took that next step. Anyway, have a great day. Bye.